Hey there. I have a funny little story to share from on my way to work, and to get to the funny point, I'm going to start out with what led up to the funny part. So there's a couple things happening in my life right now that are exciting for me and new things for me, and I think natural with all humans when there's exciting new things happening that are growth opportunities. There can be some imposter syndrome creeping in there and things like that, like, ooh, can I handle this? Am I good enough to do this? That sort of thing. So as I was experiencing some of those thoughts, and I will say that because of intentionally practicing awareness, I've gotten pretty good at not dipping into those thoughts, but kind of watching them as they come up and processing them in the moment. And what happened as I was experiencing that this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting, but it's kind of scary too. A guide came in and was like, Kelly, relax. You got this. Just relax. Just be. And was like giving me a pep talk. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, thank you. And I was saying thank you out loud to the guide as my body was relaxing, and I was, letting things, letting the density kind of drift away and anchoring into the expansion of the opportunities that have come up. So I was thanking my guide, and as I was, so funny, my phone just fell. Ooh, is it going to do it again? Little blooper. So as I was thanking my guide, I heard MidHaven. That's my name, MidHaven. And which surprised me because I don't usually get names very easily. And here's why I don't usually get names very easily, because as soon as I received that message, I started judging it. MidHaven. I'm making that up, MidHaven. And then which is normal, right? That's a natural thing when you're really starting to work with the unseen multidimensional parts of yourself and beings that are there. We do a lot of judging and dismissing of those things and those messages. So as soon as I thought it, I'm making this up. As soon as I thought that, I caught myself like, oh yeah, nope, I'm not going to judge it. I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to flow with it. And the next message I received was of my, I have a beautiful young niece who's in her early teens, and she is true to early teen nature. She will at times say, oh my God, Mom, oh my God, when she's disagreeing with something her mother's saying. So my guide was like, showing me her say that as being humorous to me doing the judging. So I caught myself judging, like, so in my head I'm thinking, MidHaven, I'm making that up. And then my guide's over here going like, oh my God, you're doing it again, like kind of spoofing for me to make me laugh and add humor and kind of release any still again heavy density that may have been lingering. Like, yeah, no, Kelly, you heard me say my name. It's true. Stop judging yourself. And oh my God. So I have a new well, spirit speaks to you in ways that you'll understand, right? They figure out how you process things mentally, and then they'll show you or give you messages in that format so you can pick up on what they're saying and pick up on the energy they're conveying to you. So I have a new code there. That's a new code for me, is my little niece going, oh my God, when spirit is jovially, it's not even a word, when spirit is kind of poking at me in a fun way, as I'm questioning things. Yes. Oh yeah. And additionally, Yalaku Uvrataya Ratiana Yashakate Hania Loku Ania Ke Okay. What continued to come through then as I was communicating with this guide is they were letting me know that they are one of the guides that have been coming in to be as a actual multidimensional part of myself, an aspect that will be integrating with me as I start multi-dimensional integration practitioner training, which starts this Saturday. Multidimensional soul integration, MSI. And that's I'll be doing that through activations with JJ. So yes, prepping for the training that's coming up, there are two aspects that I had tuned into and taken some notes on, and one of them had the frequency of a yellow and 12th dimension being. There's some other things that I have written down. I don't remember exactly what they all are, but so then as MidHaven is kind of poking fun at me, giving me the image of my niece, so she's female too. So MidHaven is female. That's just coming through now. She's like, yeah, I'm the yellow one. I'm the yellow one. And so I knew she was talking about that aspect of my higher self. I'm going to stop. Higher self doesn't, there's something more to that. Not necessarily higher self. Anyway, I'll be working with MidHaven more coming up. And there was more to this as well. What was it? There was something else coming. Oh, yes, that's what it was. So what I've noticed is previously when I would make videos on my way to work, the frequency would come in, the frequency of the messaging, the downloads, the information would come in when I was usually closer to work and be with me. I'd still be in that frequency when I pulled into the parking lot and parked my car and started the video, right? What I've been noticing lately is that the transmission of the frequency and the information, the downloads comes before I'm when I'm about halfway to work, and then it fizzles, it goes away, and I get to work through the latter half of my drive. That frequency's not there, and as I'm coming into work, I'm like, oh, I know that you want me to share this message, but I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm not feeling the transmission. And what was shared with me this morning by MidHaven, as I was noticing that again, like the more you start to notice a pattern, the more curious you get about it, right? So as I was getting closer to work, I'm like, okay, the frequencies fizzled, and I was trying to picture like how to describe what that even is like. And the image that I see doesn't quite capture it, but it's kind of like when maybe when you used to have a TV antenna. I don't know that a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this, but where you'd see the picture really clear, and then the wind blows differently, and it starts to get not crackly noise-wise, but there starts to be interference in the image that you're seeing on the screen, and then eventually the image is gone, and you've got maybe just like black and white static, things like that. To where you had a feeling. So if I was just to describe the feeling, you were receiving a transmission from the show you were watching. Let's say it was Perfect Strangers, and I don't know why that show comes to mind. I guess I'm going way back, guys. So was it Belfie? I can't remember these people's names, but let's say you're watching this funny show, right? And you're feeling emotion of humor and laughing, and then it starts to kind of go away and there's nothing on the screen. That feeling, that emotion then is also likely gone too, because it's not there interacting with you anymore. So I was reflecting on that, the feeling and what it's like to have the transmission leave and or not to be complete. That's what it is. I was reflecting on what it feels like to have a transmission be complete, and then asking MidHaven, like, why are my transmissions complete now before I'm getting to work? Because then I have to like get back into the transmission when I get to work, and that's not easy. Like, You're making me work for it. And the response was that they want me to practice. So it became a they, collective guides at that point, was we want you to practice getting back into the frequency of the transmission. That's why it's happening, is because you've been doing, you know, what you've been guided to do was sharing the transmissions. Now we want you to actively practice being in the transmission, knowing what it is to have a completed transmission, and then intentionally, we want you to practice intentionally going back into the frequency that you were receiving at that time. So, okay, that's it. God, Mom. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Until next time, enjoy the expansion, my friends.